What's the deal? What's the deal? We back again. PolitiKan The Podcast. Live Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Man, we about to get in, talk about a slew of topics. First topic we got to get to is ESPN dropped the 11 through 25 of their top 25 NBA players. And I was real surprised by this list, especially the 11th and 12th spot of this list because James Harden came in at 11. Wow, that boy Kawhi Leonard came in at 12. I do not agree with this at all. Let me bring in the cast, man, and let's see what they talking about because James Harden, even though he's an MVP, he's never won anything, especially in the playoffs, anything that matters. And then we're talking about a two-time Finals MVP, and not only did he beat LeBron, but he beat what was that Golden State? Come on, man. He beat two dynasties, two of the most iconic players to ever play the game. Is who he got his two final MVPs and championships against. This makes no sense, man. You can't put James Harden in that weak ass step back. They changed the rules, and now his step back don't even matter no more. So how is James Harden coming above Kawhi Leonard? This makes no sense. Let me bring in the cast. What's the deal, fools?
What up?
What's the deal?
Y'all checked out this list, man.
Nah, man. You talking about it right now? First time I'm hearing it. I ain't gonna lie.
For real, man. So they're gonna drop the top 10, but 11 through 25 has came through, and and James Harden is at the top of that list at 11. Kawhi Leonard comes in at 12. Do y'all agree with this shit, man? Is this real?
Oh my God, where do I start? Where do the fuck I start? First of all, James Harden is not a top 11 player. James Harden has not been a top 11 player in years. James Harden is a cool top 30 at this point in his career. Maybe not even that. He's never been shit on defense, so he should never sniff anybody's top anything because he's the worst defensive player I've seen out of a superstar in recent history. So no, James Harden should not be up there. And offensively, he has declined with the rule changes, with them not calling some of them bullshit ass fouls he made. You know, offensively, he's regular as fuck now, especially in the regular season. We don't want to get started on the playoffs when this man has never, ever, ever, ever had a playoffs where he rose above and played better than he did in the regular season, because that's what superstars do. Superstars play better in the playoffs, and James Harden has never done that. So to have him over Kawhi Leonard simply because Kawhi's been hurt is fucking ridiculous. A healthy Kawhi Leonard, when he's on the floor, there's not a better two-way player in the league. He's elite defensively, and he's elite offensively. He puts up 27 a game, and he locks down your other player every fucking time. You saw what Luka was doing when in the playoffs. Luka was calling for the screen to get Kawhi off of him so he can go to work on the other guys. That's fucking ridiculous. I don't respect none of these lists anyway. All these lists have always been crazy. They're probably going to have LeBron in the top 5, which is ridiculous because he's no longer a top 5 player. So fuck these lists. I'm not fucking with these lists at all.
Man. All right. Let's now, disclaimer. The Claw is better than James Harden by a long shot. If I'm starting my franchise, I ain't starting it with James Harden. I was started with the Claw. Now that I got that out the way, James Harden. James Harden has played for the Thunder. He has played for the Nets. He has played for the Rockets. And he has played for Philly. Out of all those teams, Mr. James Harden has only did good in one of those teams. And that's the Rockets. And that's because the offense went through him. He is unreliable when it comes to putting a team on his back and doing something with it. We have seen it time and time again. He always has somebody. I mean, he keep going back to Durant like he gonna help him out, and it ain't helping him out. So then he left. But he unreliable. But let's talk about unreliable right quick. The Claw is a better player than James Harden is. But let's address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is, isn't it time to give Kawhi Leonard the same title y'all been giving my boy D Rose? Isn't it time to give him the same title of he's injury prone? No, y'all, we won't give him that. We won't give him that. Okay, you guys might be right. But let me give you a fun fact though. In the last 3 years, Derrick Rose has played more games than Kawhi Leonard. Let me do the math for you. Kawhi Leonard in the last 3 years have played 160 games. Last 3 years, D Rose has played 177. So if my dude is injury prone, your boy is injury prone. Now, I'm not saying Derrick Rose and it should be on the top 25. I'm saying the boy's injury prone. If they're giving to James Harden based upon he ain't played in the last 3 years, what have you done for me lately? Okay, you can give it to James Harden. But as in skill-wise, Kawhi's better.
They done about the same with Kawhi on the bench.
I waited for you guys to finish with that. You saw me with my head down trying to do my notes, on the mayor tip. Kawhi Leonard's best season, right? 2018. The man had he was averaging 26 points, 7 rebounds, 3.3 assists. James Harden's best year, he averaged same year, 2018, he averaged 36. He averaged 6.6 rebounds and 7.5 assists. Now, unfortunately, James Harden does not have a NBA championship. Kawhi Leonard has, a few? He has one with San Antonio, right? He has one with Toronto. So you look at that alone, that should have put him in front of James Harden on the list. It should have put him in front of a lot of players, at least within the active list, because he has championships. But when you look at on-court influence, no disrespect to Kawhi Leonard, and not because he's a Clipper and I'm a Laker fan, but James Harden has made a bigger impact on the game because if we're not mistaken, James Harden was the only person that was in conversation with Kobe before he passed about the certain amount of 30-point games he was stringing together in a short period of time within one season. He was killing the game for a short period of time. And yes, the last 2 years, he has been a little bit of a washed up, overweight, out of shape, hollow shell of a player or hollow shell of what we know James Harden to be. But let's not forget that there was a time where there was nothing you could do to stop him from scoring 30 points a game. There was nothing you could do from stopping him from scoring 30 points. They literally changed the rule so that he couldn't do what he did. I mean, they haven't changed nothing for Kawhi Leonard except he's the newest player to ever say, I can't play all the games I'm supposed to play. And even like y'all said, as far as him and Derrick Rose being quote unquote injury prone, I think Kawhi Leonard sits out more games than what he has to because he doesn't see it being relevant to play and waste his prime when your team isn't a playoff championship contender.
Yeah. State them facts, baby. State them facts.
I mean, if you're going to if you're going to contend for a championship, you're going to play every single game you can to make sure you have the best seed and the best opportunity to have the best, the furthest. He's injured, yes, but it's come on now.
Play through an injury?
Wait, Ronnie.
No, come on now. Okay, we're not giving no excuses to injury. That's why I brought up Derrick Rose.
Hold on. I'll be real quick. I'll let it go. Right here, real fast. Real fast. Wait.
We're getting ready to beat Phoenix.
One statement.
Before he tore his ACL. So you're really talking. You're
just
saying James Harden
just one. Look, just one statement, and I'll let it go. While injured, I don't know if it was last season or the season before last. I vaguely remember, because I don't watch very many Clipper games, that he was injured. The Clippers were not completely out of the playoffs, and he sat upstairs in the booth with his family, and he did not sit on the sideline with his teammates to show solidarity. And that's something as a coach, as a player, I looked at it a little bit differently. I remember hearing it from commentary that they thought that was a sign that he was disconnected from his team. So, I mean, that to me doesn't always have to do with an injury if you don't want to sit the bench and cheer.
That was only mentioned because he was on a 2-year deal and he could have left and been a free agent. So they were saying, oh, is he possibly leaving? But no, he didn't. He re-upped. He's with us for another 4 years with a 5th-year option, and he's locked in.
He's sitting
no, that is beautiful. I'm not saying that. I was only bringing up that statement because I don't believe that he's as injured as he puts off to us.
The reason why he missed the whole year last year is because they didn't think the injury was as bad as it was. So they put off surgery. So he had surgery 2 weeks before the season started. So now you're going to come back and you can come the last month of the season, but the Clippers were barely in playoff contention. So do you want to come back in the play-in or a week before the play-in like Paul George did coming in 2 weeks before?
Don't
Paul
say
George
what,
barely,
please
Paul
don't say
George
that.
barely made 2 weeks before the play-in tournament. Why
Just
does
why,
Kawhi come in around the same time and it's that late in the play? That's
That
why he made the whole year. It didn't make no sense for him to come back at that moment.
Caleb, you know what you just said? You know what you just said?
What?
He chose not to do the same solid move that Paul George did.
You see, but Paul George doesn't have the same resume.
He doesn't have to. No. The season at hand, that solidarity of playing in that game instead of sitting upstairs.
At the end of the day, it was a business. Paul George had to come back. You know why? Because he opted back into his contract, and Kawhi didn't know if he wanted to stay or not. So, yeah, I got to come back. Yeah, I got to prove that I'm that man that Kawhi should stay and play with. So Paul George was in a different position because if Kawhi Leonard leaves, Paul George's stock is down after the bubble. Paul George is never going to get that payday, and he's probably never going to be known as a superstar for the rest of his career. So the rest of his career was on the line, and that's why he made sure he came back and showed out. They're not the same. Kawhi is number one. Paul George is number two. They are not the same. Do not put them on the same playing field.
Not only
Do
that,
not put them on. But that's like Michael Jordan.
No, that's perfect. That makes sense. I'm with you.
But Scottie Pippen rushed himself back. Who cares?
On top of that, it was different.
No, I'm just glad. I'm glad you made that point.
Kawhi had a way more severe injury, so you can't compare. He had an ACL, man.
I'm just saying. No, I appreciate you, gentlemen, clarifying that for me because I was looking at the solidarity and the camaraderie as a team, not just as the injury and the fact that he didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like even like I said, not being on the bench and being in the booth and stuff like that. But it makes perfect sense, like you said. Like he didn't have to play. It was a choice, and he chose not to. So that puts him at puts him at number 12. That puts James Harden at 11. Because then when he comes back off of, I forced my way out of Houston, and now I'm with Brooklyn like I wanted to be. He at least did enough that he didn't look as bad as Kyrie. And he didn't show that he didn't show that he was completely fit. Yes, he had fell off athletically because he was out of shape. But at least he was still committed to try to do what was best for his team.
And ladies and gentlemen, as watching this broadcast and everything of that nature, this is why I brought up my boy D Rose, because our Clipper fans out here are giving Kawhi Leonard a pass because he is injured. But we do not give Derrick Rose a pass for being injured.
No,
so
we
therefore,
don't. Derrick Rose has no championships and no Finals MVPs.
How many playoff victories he got? How many series has he won?
How many defensive players he got?
He has won a couple. And let's not get it. Okay, so
how many defensive player of the year he has? How many?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I brought up.
How many All NBA teams has he made? How many?
This is why. Now this
he
is
made
why
a few All NBA teams.
They are not alike,
sir. I brought up D Rose. This is why I brought up D Rose. So now let's take the same format as my colleagues are using. Kawhi has been injured. This is why.
Two-time Finals MVP.
This is why. No,
against the Warriors and
injuries, right?
two-time Finals
Derrick Rose
MVP.
was at one point in time before injuries was better
He
than
beat
Kawhi
the
Leonard.
Miami Heat
Derrick Rose was
with
never
D
better
Wade
than
and Bosh.
Are you?
Come on, are you
Wait, time
serious
out.
right now?
Time out.
Derrick Rose
Derrick
had
was
no
never
defense.
better.
See,
Nah,
Derrick
basketball is a
Rose
two-way
was
sport.
never
Derrick
better
Rose
than
was
Kawhi
never
Leonard.
the
No,
defender Kawhi Leonard
Derrick
was.
Rose
Ever.
was never
Ever.
better than Kawhi Leonard.
No, he
no,
was
he
never
was
the
never.
defensive player Kawhi Leonard
Hold
was.
on, guys.
Never.
Hold on.
Never.
Hold on.
Basketball is
You
trash.
guys are holding that man's nuts. You are
Derrick Rose.
holding
No,
that man's
you're
nuts.
holding Derrick Rose's nuts. You think this guy is better
Derrick
than he is?
Rose.
That guy has
Derrick
never
Rose is
Rose
been
not
was
a
God,
defensive
never.
bro. He is
You're
not.
talking about a prime
Why are
Derrick
we
Rose
talking
was
about
never
Derrick
better
Rose?
than
He
Kawhi.
sucks.
Prime Derrick Rose was 2 years.
And he had no defense. No
got injured.
defense.
Prime Kawhi Leonard
No,
was
no
8.
defense.
He got injured.
Prime
That's
Kawhi
not the
Leonard won
same.
defensive.
It's not the same. They're
Oh,
not
it's
in
not
the
the
same.
same.
If you want
Alvin, it's
to, if you
not
want
the
to
same.
compare
Okay,
him
it's
to
not
Paul
the same.
George, they're in the same caliber. But Kawhi
Right.
is not in the same boat
He ain't even
as
in Paul
Paul
George
George.
caliber. Paul George is better than Derrick Rose. Paul George is way better
Paul
than
George,
Derrick Rose.
before he broke his elbow,
Way better than
was
Derrick
better than
Rose.
Paul.
Yes.
Pacers,
Are we
Paul George
talking
Way
before
about?
the
better.
Are we
elbow
talking
injury
about?
was
Are
better
we
than
talking about
Derrick
Derrick
Rose.
Rose and his
What
Paul
elbow
George is a
injury? You mean
two-way
his
player.
knee and his leg injury?
Are you
Derrick
talking
Rose
about?
had no defense.
Leg,
Why you
not
guys don't
knee,
talk
not
about
Yeah,
elbow.
defense?
Okay.
the
Derrick
leg
Rose in
injury.
his
We're not talking
prime?
about defense. What about
Are we
defense?
talking about
All
Derrick
right,
Rose
all
in his
right.
prime?
Are we talking about
Let's,
defense?
we gotta move
Are we
on,
talking about
man.
Derrick
Because
Rose in his prime?
Are we
What
talking
about
about?
defense?
no, we ain't talking about nothing, man. Kawhi
Okay.
Leonard is better than James Harden. I don't give a fuck.
Way better than
And,
sorry
He's
ass
not.
James
He's
Harden.
just. Tell him to play in the
and y'all
game.
can say whatever y'all want, man.
Tell him to
James
But
play in
Harden
the
James
is
game.
Harden is not better than no
You cannot
Kawhi
be
Leonard.
better than somebody if you
So
don't play.
him being at 11th spot makes no
You
sense.
can't.
I'd
You
rather
just
take
don't play
Especially-
Kawhi
if you
bench
don't.
than James Harden on the floor. Straight up.
So have
can't
you
be
guys
better
been
than
following
somebody
this
if you don't
Phoenix
play.
Suns thing? Because the Phoenix Suns made it to that championship after Kawhi tore his ACL when we was about
We
to
can't
defeat
put
them
injuries
and get
in it.
rid of them, and then they made it to that championship and lost to Giannis. You know, if Kawhi didn't get injured,
Oh my God.
Phoenix don't make it to that championship, Milwaukee doesn't win, and we're talking about Kawhi Leonard MVP, Finals MVP for a third time on a third different team.
And he
Oh
might
my
be
goodness.
one of the best players in NBA history if he did that.
But
that's
let's
what
get
if.
to this.
But
Get to this Phoenix
keyword
Suns.
if,
If
keyword
Derrick
if.
Rose didn't get injured, he would have been.
Man, let's get to this
What
Phoenix
if?
Suns situation, man, because the owner, Robert Schaefer, he came out, he got a year suspension after there was an investigation, and it showed him using the N-word, calling people niggas for
Whoa.
he got caught calling it over 5 different times. Then Donald Sterling, we only had one recording of him, and he lost his team. But they caught him over 5 different times. They caught him saying derogatory remarks towards women, talking to the women that work for the organization in derogatory ways. And there was a whole slew of things in which the NBA issued him a year suspension. But now he's saying that he plans to sell the team. So now he is selling the team. He is also the owner of the WNBA's Phoenix Mercury. So now both teams, he has begun the process of selling these teams. Now, unlike the Donald Sterling situation, they did not force him to sell his team. They fined him $10 million, and they gave him a 1-year suspension from operating. But that did not make him sell his team when he is selling his team on his own fruition. What do y'all think about this development with the Phoenix Suns? Why wasn't it handled the same way Donald Sterling situation was handled? And the common denominator is the president of the Players Association, Chris Paul, because he was on that Donald Sterling team, and now he's on this Robert Schaefer team. So it's like, what's going on? Are you in cahoots with these dudes? I mean, what how do y'all feel about this whole scenario?
Chris Paul, are you over here letting these white men? Are you telling them it's okay to use the N-word? Chris Paul, you can just let us know. I think Chris Paul is like, hey man, just use it. Just use it. It's okay. It's cool. We brothers. Just use it. Say nigga all you want. Just say it. Just say it. And then all of a sudden, once they say, I think Chris Paul is the one with the video camera. He the one getting them. Now, if Sterling had to, I feel that he shouldn't even be allowed to sell the team. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, if he sells the team, doesn't that mean that's money in his pocket? So he benefits from, where's really the punishment? Being out a year? Okay. But then he sells the team, both of the teams, and he got money in his pocket. So is it really? I think there should be a harsher punishment than just a 1-year suspension and a slap on the wrist. If you going around say, "Hey, nigga, dribble that ball," or whatever the video says, I don't know what it says, and then you groping and doing whatever with the women, like, come on, a 1-year suspension, and then he gets to sell the team and make profit off of it. That's called a come up.
You know
Go ahead, Ronnie.
I like the nerve of all these rich white men to have a nerve to so-called hate niggas, but they profit off of niggas so much. It's like, motherfucker, you got your nerve. You know niggas done made you rich. Like, how do you have a nerve to hate somebody who puts so much money in your pocket, who make your business flourish so much? I know you had your little prodigy Steve Nash who robbed Kobe of an MVP, but nigga, you had nothing but black players, mostly black players, that have made your organization what it is. And you got the nerve to hate niggas? I can't stand old racist rich white men. I cannot fucking stand it. It puzzles me to why they're like that. Let me say that first. Secondly, yes, I don't understand why he didn't get the same treatment as Donald Sterling. You're saying that like Donald Sterling was some bullshit, and he did say he don't want her to bring black players around, but this motherfucker was dropping the N-bomb. Why are we okay with this white motherfucker talking about the N-bomb and not immediately exiling him completely? He needs to get the same treatment as Donald Sterling. I don't know what the fuck you own, Chris Paul, but you need to get off your little coon shit or whatever you own, and you need to go ahead and handle that. You're the president of the Players Association. You're his current employee. You need to do something. This man needs to be out of the league, and his whole staff out of the league because they knew he was doing it. He ain't the only guilty one. Everyone who knew he was doing it, everyone that was around and participating, they need to be fucking out of the league too. If there's no tolerance, if we're so over this racist shit, if there's no room for racism in America, we need to treat these cases as such. All these motherfuckers need to be out of the league, period, point blank.
I do got a question. It really don't matter because he ain't one of us. But did he, in the video, did it say if he used the A or the ER?
They did not specify. But one thing, they just said the N word. You know how they when they report, then they're not saying. But I've never heard anybody say the A word. That is the E word. You know what I'm saying? It's the ER. You already know. Especially in this context, we already know. And even if they said the nigga, he was still referencing us as niggers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter the connotation on the end. And when it comes to Chris Paul, they launched this investigation probably over 6 months ago. And when they first started the investigation and they asked the Phoenix players, Chris Paul was one of the players amongst them that said, hey, I don't got no comment on it. We just going to wait for the investigation to see itself out. So it's like they knew stuff, but decided not to make a comment on it until the investigation was thorough. But if you knew this was happening, fuck the investigation. You need to speak up, and you need to be about your people and not about trying to win the championship, because y'all barely made it past us. If Kawhi didn't get injured, y'all wouldn't have been in no championship. So then y'all was the number one team last year, and y'all thought y'all had a chance to do it again, but then y'all was some bums.
Got exposed.
Exactly.
Turn, right? So, is it my turn? Can I go, sir?
Go ahead. Let's go, Alvin.
All right. So let me go ahead and give you that Zen Phil Popovich. You know, it's Phil Popovich. You know, or Greg Jackson, however you want to look at it, on my coach's tip. So first and foremost, we're talking about Chris Paul. Let's remember that since the Donald Sterling incident, that's why Chris Paul became president of the Player Association. So you would think that, yes, with him in position to make the better calls or at least blow the whistles, if he said, "Oh, I'm not going to say anything now," there was a strategic move behind it. The reason why I believe it was a strategic move behind it is because for us, we're on the outside looking in. You know, we're real life fans, diehard NBA fans. You know, true. We're on that other side, just like with, you know, hip hop and entertainment. It's its own separate thing. It's his own cult, so to speak. So it's not like he's going to be able to say anything if he's not supposed to, or if he can. And then when it comes to playing in the NBA or doing anything like that, we all know sports are entertainment, dudes. Like, my guys, the sports are entertainment. There's nothing going on there that they don't already know is already either happening or going to happen. So, like, they're not forcing him to sell the team, but he's selling the team. It's some strange reason that we're never going to find out why he really is trying to sell both organizations. Because why would you sell the WNBA team and not and why give up both revenues? Why give up both revenues? Why give up when you also have Brittany Griner, who's a Phoenix Mercury player, right? And then Chris Paul, who's on the Suns. Like, why would you? They're two big name players. Why would you give up all that potential money? Because he's trying to get himself completely out of the mix. He wants to get out of the limelight, out of the NBA, out of the WNBA, out of the entertainment for some reason that we'll never know. And to me, I'm looking at it as if all three of you feel the same way, like, oh, this, that, and the third. He's smarter than all of us in this room right now, or in this podcast. He knows something bigger is coming, and he's like, I'm out. I messed up. I was saying everything I knew I wasn't supposed to say because I could care less what anybody said anyway. I could do what I want. I got millions, billions, whatever. Oh, you caught me. Throwing it in. Bye. See you later. It don't matter.
It's because Chris Paul and Jake from State Farm are in cahoots.
Oh,
and throw Cliff Paul in there too, because you know Cliff Paul.
Hey, you ain't seen Cliff Paul since they got rid of old Jake.
See?
Oh, for real? They got new Jakes from State Farm.
You got new Jake that looked like a Drake, and you ain't seen Cliff Paul one time. Or actually, no, you did see him once. You did see him once.
So let's get to this next topic, man. Have you guys seen any of this NFL action? This first 2 weeks have been probably some of the best football I've seen in years, man. This last two, I think there's only two teams that stayed 2-0. You know, there's been some major injuries like Dak Prescott, like Trey Lance, that's supposed to change the scope. We got people like Baker Mayfield that played their ex-team on week 1. It's been crazy. But the thing that got everybody talking is the brawl that both broke out between the Buccaneers and the Saints, man. Bruce Arians got start yapping after a play on the sideline. Tom Brady got involved in it. The cornerback from the Saints, Lattimore, you know, started to approach Tom Brady, and then everything went crazy, man. You know how them goons be when they got to defend their dude. So Lattimore got in front of Tom Brady's face, and Mike Evans came running in from the sideline and pushed Lattimore out of the way, causing a big brawl, and he received a one-game suspension for this. Have you guys seen this? How do you feel about the way the Bucs rallied behind Tom Brady and all became his soldiers the moment that he started stuff? And why is a 40-something-year-old Tom Brady out there talking shit to people like he the man? Like, how do y'all feel about that? Like,
he the man. That's why. That's how he feel. Don't do that, man. No, don't act like Tom Brady's not the GOAT right now.
Look at Tom Brady in his face, though. It looked like Lattimore was really stopping Tom Brady from getting in his face.
Yeah, but think about it. When has Tom Brady not been that way? This is why Tom Brady is still playing at 47 years old. That's the epiphany right now of what going all in is, really. I mean, 47 and playing, and everybody's calling you the GOAT. Serena Williams, Tiger Woods. I mean, they're not the same nationality, but I'm just saying, like, when you pushing the limits, why are you not going to give it all you got? Because the next game could real life be your last game. So if he felt disrespected, why not let it be known? Check yourself. Like, And then all of his goons, like literally think about all of his goons came out. Like, you trying to touch my quarterback? Like, you touching Tom? And they all came out. Like, that was, man, I guarantee you Tom Brady ends up buying the dude that got the suspension, Mike Evans. They're probably he's going to either buy him a Bugatti, a Lamborghini, a Rollie, something crazy. He's going to buy him something of substantial, like, wealth to show thank you for showing everybody that it's all for one and one for all. I'm leading the charge, and you got my back. That's solid.
All for one or all for 12? Because
hey, whatever. Hey, don't say all for 12, because that's not. You know what? I don't like the all for 12. That's a double entendre. Don't do that. All for 12.
There's only one 12.
Ronnie, you hear him? All for 12. Get it? All for 12. Come on.
There's only one 12, baby, and that's the Seahawks, baby. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, y'all still don't get the 12 reference? Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
never mind.
we
I was trying to be a rapper like Yaja Kid.
Now, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Tom Brady, though, what people don't know is that's not new. You could go back and watch clips. Tom Brady talks mess. He's like Larry Bird. Like, people thought Larry Bird was just, oh, it's Larry Bird. But Larry Bird used to talk shit to people. Tom Brady does the same thing, and people don't realize that. The man got suspended for it. Okay, cool. Like, serve your suspension, 1 game. Only thing is, I know with the NFL, you don't play, you don't eat. So he ain't gonna get paid. So like Mayor said, Tom Brady might shoot him some chips. But other than that, I mean, what other job you can go through and just push another coworker and like put another one in a headlock and only be suspended for one game? I mean, besides the NBA. But other than that, if it was my job, I'd be trying to find a new job. So I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Tom Brady is one of the most competitive athletes to ever play, touch a field, court, whatever it is. He's already viewed as the GOAT by everybody, has 7 Super Bowls, and he's still fucking playing. That's pure love of the game. So I see the passion and the fire. I fuck with Tom going over there, getting in his face. That means he still care about the game. And his goons rallying behind him, that's even better, because you're always told that you got to protect the quarterback. Every position. Your quarterback is arguably the most important position on the field, to have a great quarterback. So you have to protect the quarterback. Mike Evans getting suspended 1 game. I think if you're going to suspend him, you should hand out other suspensions, but I guess they're looking at it the fact that maybe he ignited or propelled the brawl into something else. Maybe that's why he got the punishment. But I don't mind Tom Brady, getting in the face and his players rallying around him at all. That's the heart of a champion. That's the heart of a GOAT, and somebody that's competitive like that. You see it from other elite competitors like Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? LeBron still playing at 20. All these guys are competitors because they still love the game. So I fuck with it.
They thought he got malice in the palace.
He got suspended because he came from the sideline. He came off of the sideline, ran in, and pushed Lattimore running full speed. As you see the picture here, he's running in. Tom Brady was on the sideline. He wasn't even there. He was completely out of the play. He had nothing to do. And that's in the NBA, there's a rule where, hey, if a melee happens, especially after the malice on the palace, you cannot come from the sideline and come onto the court. And there's so many times that people get penalties for just taking a step on the court when this stuff happens. But they do not have those rules in NFL. So he ran completely off of the sideline to get into this melee. And that's what we can't have. And that's why I'd say he deserves a bigger suspension than that. Because you got to make a point that, hey, you can't come from off of the sidelines to start trying to fight people in the middle of an NFL game. We have sponsors, we have commercials, we have all these things that we have to worry about. And when you add on a fight in the middle of the game, it prolongs, it pushes that commercial slot back. It changes a whole lot of different dynamics that we have to deal with production. So you're affecting so many different things on so many different levels when you weren't even in on the play. There was receivers on the field during that play that could have handled that. What was that? The running back, Leonard Fournette. He was right there already defending Tom. Tom was the one kept being aggressive. Leonard Fournette had already stepped in and was already shielding Tom. So for Mike Evans to see what's going on and run all the way from the sideline and come with that aggression that he came with, he deserves more than a 1-game suspension to me.
Well, I mean, but Caleb, don't forget, he's on the Buccaneers and Tom Brady is his quarterback. So you're not going to take away one of his top 3 receivers for more than 1 game. You're going to punish him by slapping him on the wrist. But like you said, by not punishing him longer than 1 game, they're realistically not sending a message to the rest of the league that this type of behavior is not going to be tolerated. But as soon as this happens with another quarterback, right, and it's a different demographic, or not just demographic, but just a completely different situation, circumstance, they're going to get hit with 4, 5, 6 games. Might even get a fine as well. That's a lucrative amount.
So it sounds like what you're saying is he only got the 1 game because Tom Brady is
Tom Brady
shade of color than we are. Because I mean, if I go back, it's 2 different situations. But as of what I know Michael Vick he wasn't the one dog fighting, and they kicked him out the league. I mean, Kaepernick took a knee, and he hasn't even been back in the league. So the facts that you're saying, it sounds like, yo, you Tom Brady, you can get in people's face. We gonna make sure you protect it by just suspending your dude 1, because we need you to get another championship, because everybody thinks you the GOAT. And long as people think you the GOAT, Tom Brady, guess what? That means the white man's the GOAT. Keep doing your thing, Tom. Keep doing your thing.
For real, man. That shit is facts, man. Have y'all seen this shit with one of the it's always these white quarterback golden boys in the NBA. And we all know Brett Favre was one of the biggest golden boys. He retired and unretired like 5 times the last 5 years that he was there. The Packers basically had to say, no, we don't let you come back this time. And he had to go to the Vikings. And then the Vikings said, no, we don't let you come back this time. And he had to go to the Jets. This shit is ridiculous. But golden boy Brett Favre has found himself in some bullshit as he received $70 million from the what was this? This was an EBT and social benefits in the state of Mississippi, which is America's poorest state. And he used those $70 million in welfare money to build a volleyball complex and to pay ex-WWE, WWF wrestlers. And they gave this money to him for speeches that he never gave. He never gave not one speech. So they gave $70 million to Brett Favre and welfare money in the brokest state of America, which has a high black demographic. So you don't think them black people in Mississippi could have used that $70 million? But instead, Brett Favre, the golden boy, got it. And guess what? Because they gave it to him for speeches, it's not considered fraud. So now they're trying to sue him for the money back, in which he probably pay back a third of the money. This is some bullshit. How is he not in jail? Everybody's pressing about all this PPP scam and all this shit and talking about all the people that did all this, and the government is changing laws and extending shit. But then you got fucking Brett Favre getting $70 million. Nobody in the PPP fucking got $70 million from the government. Fucking, what was this? The dude from what's that group? Pretty Ricky. He got like 1.2 million or something when he went to jail. You're talking about $70 million in welfare fraud, but this dude has no threat of going to jail for nothing. This shit is ridiculous. What are y'all thoughts on this?
Man,
them Levi commercials must be real good. Them Levi commercials must be real good. Because going back to what I said, Kaepernick ain't in the league, and he's better than even him not playing in the league. He's still better than half of the quarterbacks that's in there, and he can't get into the league. But I bet you if Brett Favre wanted to come back tomorrow, he'll be able to get back in the league, even with all this. My dude, Michael Vick had to pay. Had to go to jail. He paid with his time. For dog fighting. He didn't even fight the dogs. Brett Favre took $70 million. You know what EBT stands for Brett Favre? Eat better today. That's what it stands for Brett Favre. Eat better today. Because this man, $70 million? $70 million. You took, and then you don't have to pay it back.
Wait, hold on. Can I ask a question? Can I comment and then segue to Ronnie with one hell of a question? With all this money, 70 million, like you said, you said coming from welfare, which is supposed to help the low income and less fortunate, right? What exactly would that mean? That the entertainer is more important than the people who are poor? In the lowest, in the most poorest like city and state in America. So is that, so to speak, like helping population control or something? I don't know. I'm just thinking $70 million is so much money that could come from one place. So Ronnie, help me understand, what exactly is that?
You know what that is? That's what you call typical white America.
Wow.
This shit is not new, man. This is not new. These things have been going on for years that we don't know about. Now, Mississippi is an area that still has lynchings, and they still have, I hear, some segregated areas, and areas that are very, very, very much like they were back in the slavery and the segregation era. So this is a state that's already that has black people on walking on eggshells out there. Now, Brett Favre, first of all, I'm sure he's made millions of dollars in his career. Millions of dollars in his career. Why the fuck is he even allowed to get that much money for some damn speeches, even if it was for speeches?
He ain't
70 million in welfare money. I mean, I understand if he got a business loan or whatever, everybody knows, you know, the LLC, you get money on that. That's separate from your credit. That's, I understand business wise, but 70 million in welfare credit. And like Caleb said, there's never a big uproar on these rich white motherfuckers that do this shit, but everybody want to complain about the low income black person that got a damn PPP loan that had them happy for a short amount of time. Everybody
for 20,000.
You know what I'm saying? 20,000. They want to wish them to go to jail, but these rich white motherfuckers is doing this shit. Ain't nobody complaining about. It's complete bullshit. They've been doing this since the beginning of time, and he's using his white privilege and using it very well. And he's going to get a slap on the wrist, if that at all, and going to get away with it just like the rest of them do. And it's bullshit.
I don't know. He just, for me, it was the fact that he never rendered not one speech. I'm like, when the fuck did fucking E.T.? You know what I'm saying? Who else? You know, who's getting this type of money for speeches?
Right.
Because E.T. is the number one speaker in the country, and he probably ain't making 70 million off of speaking. So how the hell Brett Favre getting 70 million off of speaking, but the top speakers in America ain't getting 70 million for speaking? And when has Brett Favre ever given a speech where you was like, damn, he's one hell of a speaker?
Right.
And my thing is, let's say it was from Mississippi and he was supposed to speak. So what that also means to me is, damn, Brett Favre, you took the 70 million and you don't care about that community so much that you didn't even give one speech to them. You just took their money and ran. You're like, man, forget these black people. I ain't going to come out here and speak to them, but I'm going to take your money, though.
He built a volleyball complex at the college that his daughter goes to because his daughter is on the volleyball team.
Well, I mean, but also don't forget though. He got the money, right? We want you to come and speak at our school, speak in our community, right? I'm pretty sure, just like you guys know it too, they didn't tell him that it was coming from welfare. You know what I mean? We're not going to disclose where the money.
They did tell him it's from welfare, and they have text messages. They have text messages of him asking them, "Will they be able to know that you sent the money to me?" He's asking them straight up, "Will they be able to trace it to me?"
Oh wow!
And why are you taking welfare money for speeches?
But you know what?
What does a speech? I'm sorry, I speak to people. You know what I'm saying? I motivate people and everything like that. But I don't think my speeches is going to change a whole community. It's not going to get streets paved. It's not going to put food on the table for people. I will speak to you to have you have the mindset like, yo, go get it. But it's not putting bread on the table.
No, but don't forget this though, right? If his daughter went to that college and Brett Favre is Brett Favre, like let's not forget who he is in the NFL and who he was in the NFL and who he was during majority of his career, it would bring some type of significant attention to that area. Maybe not $70 million worth, and then looking forward, like as if they were going to double or triple that amount of money and that amount of attention. But like when you think about on a lower level, I personally try to speak at one of the schools out here, right? They were willing to pay me $1,000 for 2 sessions of an hour and a half each, right? But what they wanted from me was a $2 million insurance policy. I needed to show proof I had a $2 million insurance policy. I was like, what am I going to say that's going to cost $2 million? Like, who's going to sue me for $2 million? Like, what? And I didn't take the job. But at the same time, it's like, who is he? Like, again, it's Brett Favre. There's no liability if it's Brett Favre. He could literally tell them anything he wants, anything far left or far right, and they would just take it. Thank you so much, Brett Favre. Will you sign something? Can we have your autograph? Like the clout from yet again another great American hope football player.
His signature will put food on. I'm just talking Mississippi. His signature on a football will put more food on the table than him speaking.
So then look, wait. If you just said that, then what are we talking about? So then the $70 million that he took, he thought was enough clout. And then maybe, I mean, that's messed up. He didn't come. But if he would have went and if he would have signed something for everybody, signed a whole bunch of football stuff to put into the museum for the college, like you said,
in this conversation,
man,
he wouldn't be in this conversation,
man.
So you look down upon your daughter goes over there, but you so on your high horse or whatever the case may be that you don't even speak to the people to give them a little nugget to go get it and feed their family. You don't sign no footballs so they can go resell it and feed their families. You did absolutely nothing. You just took the $70 million. That's a super slap in the community's face.
From the poorest people in America, he just took $70 million and rendered nothing and built his daughter's school, a volleyball complex. This is unheard of.
That half of them won't even be able to go to that school.
But my biggest thing was not the fact that it happened. It was the $70 million and the fact that he's not facing any prosecution and that they're suing him for damages. And they only sued him for damages because an investigative journalist brought this out, and now they have to save face. But they're suing him for like a third of the money. So even if they do win the lawsuit, they're going to recoup maybe 20, 30 million of that 70 million. So he basically got a free 40, 50 million, and he's not going to face any type of prosecution. That right there, it has America written all over it.
I'm sorry. I gotta stop. I gotta stop hanging out with y'all. I need some more white friends.
Wow.
So you can enjoy some of this American freedom, huh?
Yeah,
man. You ain't gonna get none of that over here with us.
Nah, man. I gotta work too hard.
Thought we was cool.
White in America, boy. boy.
I know, man. It's just something that you just like, and if you tell them about this, they're gonna be like, "What are you talking about? This doesn't exist. This
Right.
isn't real."
But Caleb, who signed the check?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know what I
Who's
mean?
fine?
Like for real. Whoever cut that $70 million check, it wasn't even. Hey, think about it. In this day and age, it wasn't even a wire transfer. They cut that man a check.
Mm-hmm. They cut that
Isn't
man
if
a
his
$70
welfare not
million
go to the
check.
government?
Yeah, it's government aid. It's government funds. I mean, but how much attention should we pay the government? I mean, we don't never really hear from our president until he come out and say some bullshit. Because he came out the other day and declared that the pandemic was over and that COVID-19 is over with. But then his team comes out, the COVID force that he designated was probably one of the things that he ran for, that, oh, Donald Trump is mishandling COVID and I'm going to put a COVID force in place. But the head of your COVID force with Dr. Fauci already got caught giving misinformation to social media. And now you're coming out and saying the pandemic is over. But then your COVID force is turning around and saying, hey, it's more complicated than that. And it's not over. So the people that work for you aren't even in cahoots with you. We don't know what you're doing, but your damn team don't know what you're doing either. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, this shit is ridiculous. So, do y'all think that COVID-19 is over, like the president said, or is he just senile and he don't really know what he's talking about no more?
I mean,
I'm surprised to see him.
It's a little bit of both. He's definitely old and senile. I've been saying it when he got elected. He's 150, going on 190. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely in his last days for sure. You know, not talking shit, but he is. He's old as fuck. So he's definitely senile as a motherfucker. You know what I mean? I could agree with that. He's very senile. At the same time, I wouldn't say COVID pandemic is over. I think it's over as far as the rate as it was killing people at its peak. I think people are still catching it, but people aren't dying as much as it was. And that latest variant was only lasting 5 days, and the symptoms weren't nearly as harsh as it was in 2021 and 2020 or those previous two variants. So I wouldn't say that it's over, but I think that there is a little bit of control on it, whether you're vaccinated or not. I haven't heard too many people or too many deaths as compared to 2020 and 2021. But that motherfucker is definitely senile. He needs to go ahead and kick the bucket so we can move forward. Shit.
I mean, also let's not forget that most of the doctors outside of Fauci, whatever his name is, everybody was trying to compare it to the flu. So if his COVID team really just feels like everything was locked in, or they feel like they have it under control, but they can't really I feel like it's not that it's complicated. I feel like there's certain things they don't want to disclose because everything is consistently moving forward. Like we hear more about monkeypox, less about COVID. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not continue to push fear on everybody so that we continue to have this type of conversation and continue this dialogue about things that aren't really important? Like, what's more important to me than COVID is the fact that gas prices are trying to drop a little bit, but then food prices are spiking like to the ceiling. So, you know what I mean? Like it's another, to me, fear tactic where if we continue this conversation, we'll go into 2023 and really be I want to say sidetracked, but mind blown with the new and more dangerous news that comes out next year compared to what we're already kind of convinced about this year.
Put that man back on the screen. Put that man back on the screen. No, not that man. That's a good looking brother right there. Now that's a good looking brother right there.
Oh, I was nervous. I was like, what did I do now, y'all? What did I do?
I'm talking about this man right here.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is going on?
America. This is the man that some of us put in office. Does this look like a man that we can really trust? Look at him. Just look at him. Does he remind you of your great grandpa? Or your great grandpa? Now, Joe, since you're on the screen, Joe, you still owe me money. We've been talking about this, Joe, and don't tell me you ain't going to give me my money, Joe, because y'all letting Brett Favre get away with $70 million. So give me my money, Joe. Give me my money. This man is saying that the pandemic's over. I turned on the news today. I seen this man on the news, and he talking about nuclear war. Like, he's saying, okay, we're going to be done with the pandemic, but now let's go into war. We got what's going on with Joe? What's going on with? I called it from the beginning. Caleb heard me saying, "Smoking Joe, baby. This is Smoking Joe." That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Joe, just retire. Could you retire as a president? Could you just go? You know what? I'm done. I can't do this no more.
Kick the bucket, Joe. Go ahead and kick the bucket.
And what's up with the vice president? I don't hear nothing from her anymore, neither.
Oh, she can go too. she ain't.
You guys, I don't think you guys are really paying attention to this. This to me. This is more of a setup for 2024 than it was for 2020.
Look at that man's face.
But listen. This man is very old. We don't see him very often, and when he speaks, they cannot control what comes out of his mouth because of how old he is. Because of the potential Alzheimer's, because of potential dementia. So if you think about it, he's speaking his own truth, if that's him speaking it, if you get what I'm saying. Like, he's saying what no one can control. So you get a brief moment of Joe and shut off the camera and get him out the way. Because he's not in control. Caleb, you were the one that put me on a year ago. You were like, hey, don't get fooled by the smoke and mirrors, brother. President in control of everything. So if we need to see him after we haven't seen him for a couple months, his health isn't doing too well, Kamala hasn't been around, and we're in September at the end of the year.
He had
I'm not doing any black. Hey, I'll tell you guys like this: I'm not doing any Black Friday shopping this year. I'm saving all my money.
How many years he's been in office?
What, 2?
2? 2 years.
It's rounded around 2 years.
When all of us was going through the pandemic, was gas prices $5? I mean, we talking about the heart of pandemic. Gas prices weren't $5. The heart of the pandemic, you weren't paying like $12 for a gallon of milk.
You weren't supposed to go nowhere anyway either.
Okay, you had to stay at home and ship it at home, where everybody was stocking up on food, and you still weren't paying as. They came out with a thing. It's better to eat out every day than buy groceries. What?
Because of all the additives that's being put in the food.
So that's within 2 years. How many he got? What? Well, this will make it 3, right? So
no, this is his second year.
Well, 2023 would be number 3. Okay. Yeah.
See, well, we got 4 years of this. What else is gonna happen?
I don't know, but Trump is trying to make his comeback. Mike Pence talk about he might run against Trump. As the Democrats, they automatically put, Biden because he's the president. I don't even know what the Democrats' plan is right now. It's no way that they plan in 2024 to run Biden again. It's no way. And if they do, he probably just gonna run. And if he wins, then they'll probably just have him step down and have Kamala take over and try to run her right after that. So I think that's what the Democratic plan is.
He'd be the Tom Brady of presidents, the oldest president ever.
They feel like if they got Kamala there and she's the first vice president, then she steps in for the presidency. She's like an interim president. So then it would be prime for them to run the first black female president since Obama got the first black president. So I think that's the whole play that the Democrats is setting up. It's setting up so Biden could win this next election and then hand off the keys of the Democratic Party to Kamala, and then she, fill in the last 3-4 years and then runs for her own office.
My people.
And if she does run for her own office and she takes over for Biden, technically she wouldn't be elected. Therefore, she can run for 2 terms. So she can be a 3-term president.
No, she would be a 4-term president. Because she would have the first year as a vice president, the second year as a vice president, but then assume presidency because of him stepping down. So then that wouldn't count, right? And then she would win as her own person or as a president, and then could run again. So that she would get 16 years.
Jesus.
My people. Do not
wait. But do you think? But honestly, is that something we could see happening though?
Yes,
but yes,
what better,
because they're
what
going to
better
trick.
Wait,
no, Caleb. But you know why I say that? Because if in fact that happens, guess what we are mirroring?
What?
The Hunger Games and Divergent. I'm serious. Remember when Snoke? You remember? I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. It would be exactly like those movies.
I heard this is like Handmaid's Tale. But all I'm saying is with her, get out of all the smokes because some of us would just vote for her because she's our skin color, because she's black. Like, oh, black woman. Yeah, let's put her in office, right? And then, but we fail to realize that don't let that be the reason why you vote for somebody. Get your education up, get up and know who you voting for, because keep in mind, she in office right now, and Brett Favre has got away with 70 million.
But if you look at the Democrats, who else did they didn't have nobody when Biden came out and ran. If you remember the Democratic primaries, they had 16 people out there on the stage trying to win the damn Democratic nomination. It was ridiculous. So that's one of the reasons why Trump won in the first place, is because after what's her name, Hillary Clinton getting win, and she couldn't beat Trump, the Democrats had nothing. When Biden first came out and said he was going to run for president, Obama said, "Don't do it, Joe," but Obama advised against it.
But Caleb, what did you say? What did you say last year? Didn't you say that the United States was originally based off of the Republican, and then we all got brainwashed to think that we're supposed to be Democrats?
Yes, there's different type of democracies in the democracy that runs in America is a republic. So the people that started, the founders, they were Republicans. The Democrats split from the Republican Party. It was only the Republicans in the Republic, which is what America is. So this Democrat and Republic, it's all just smoke and mirrors.
Isn't that in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the Republic.
For which it stands. To the Republic for not what it's going to be, for which it stands. Where black people were, 3/5 of a human.
Facts.
And that's what you pledge allegiance to. And that's why Kaepernick took a knee, because he said, "I'm not pledging allegiance to the Republic for which it stands."
Right.
And that's why he lost his job. But then you got Mike Evans defending Tom Brady, and you got this. You just got America being America, man. At the end of the day, man. That's all I see on the regular is America doing America shit, man. And we pay so much. We pay so much for gas because of what's going on in the Ukraine, and that's why we went over to Afghanistan to try to get our gas from over there. But then he pulled out of that, and now he never wanted to enter the war over there. But then he sent all this money over there. I don't know. Smoking Joe, as
Smoking Joe.
He's blowing a lot of smoke. He's not even good at blowing the smoke, though. That's the problem. Is that he sucks at blowing the smoke. But yet, because Trump was so terrible, and after the insurrection, it kind of just gave us. It was up in the air, and then after the insurrection, then it was like Biden. You know, we kind of was forced to get behind Biden. We had really no other option.
And what did Biden say? What did Biden say when he was running? You ain't black if you don't vote for me, or something like that?
He went on the Breakfast Club and straight up said, "If you do not vote for me, you ain't black." And he said, "Ain't." Not black, you ain't black. Terrible. Man, let's get some shout outs before we get up out of here.
Man,
Go ahead.
hey, who's going first? I'm going first. Hey, I've been looking at my time hop, so I got to do the stuff that we did last year. So shout out to the PolitiKan, shout out to HNS 420, shout out to Brand of Encouragement, shout out to Focus on the Future, shout out to the fact that we still doing something big that most people are taking lightly because they're not a part of what's bigger than themselves. And then also shout out to Jan and his wife for this dope slogan on the shirt. Get off the boat of average. If you guys don't know how to do that, go follow Brand of Encouragement on all social media platforms. They create the most dope content that's gotten me over an additional 500 followers lately. So I'm not going to say nothing else.
So proud. My shout out goes out to white America. I am now taking applications. If you are a person that does not look like me and more of this side of my skin, and you know how to get out of driving while black, please, I'm taking applications. Please be my friend. Other than that, shout out to the politician. Shout out to all the brothers on here. We all doing our thing. I'm proud of all you guys. We just been grinding. Ain't nobody giving us nothing. We just going out and taking it. So shout out to all the men that are doing something and holding it down. Ron and Caleb, the mayor, you guys are holding it down for your family, creating a legacy, and not letting nobody hold y'all back. And I love it.
Shout out to all the brothers on this panel. You know what I'm saying? We started this, a while back, and we still going strong. We done got through three different strands of COVID and different circumstances, and we still doing it. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that's been watching us and following us. Shout out to all the extensions of the PolitiKan family. You know what I'm saying? DBK, Power Lipsticks. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie Critter. Shout out to Boy Young Music. Shout out to Tay Official. Shout out to Jen Tapped In. Shout out to everybody who's an extension, Raw Conversations, of PolitiKan, Brittany Parker, Legacy Productions. Shout out to everybody who's been an extended family of the PolitiKan Forum. Continue to watch because we got big shit coming for 2023.
All right, man. I appreciate y'all brothers for real, man. If y'all know me, man, I'm a straight grinder, man. I grind it out. I ain't never relied on luck, and I ain't never relied on nobody to give me shit, man. So I went out and I started, creating opportunities, and then I created a plethora of opportunities where there was too many opportunities for me to just handle myself. So I decided to create this platform and give more opportunities out. And then, I ran into Alvin. I ran into Ya. Loved what he was doing, seeing my bro out here getting it. And I'm like, man, this dude needs some shine. He deserves, a platform. So I hit him up, did an IG live, just to tap into what he was saying. And Alvin, the mayor, he was in the comment box. You know what I'm saying? He had a lot to say. So I'm like, let me tap into him. Then I tapped into Alvin, seeing what he had going, was like, he deserved a platform also. So then, that turned into the invite where we were doing the What's Really Good podcast, but that cast kind of broke off and it turned into this, you know what I'm saying? And just the camaraderie and the chemistry and the things that we talk about, it's like, we can talk about all the bullshit like Tory Lanez just beat up August. That's what everybody wanted to hear. But what I wanted to talk about, I want to talk about things that can move our community forward, things that actually matter, things that are happening that not necessarily getting the front page news. Like, who knows about this Brett Favre thing? No, nowhere on black television or on black airways are you hearing about Brett Favre. You actually have to do some digging to find these topics. The ESPN list, this is something that's not popular because the top 5 hasn't come out. When they drop the top 5, of course, everybody's going to be talking about it. It's a lot of light on the Robert Schaefer thing because of Donald Sterling, but it's just showing that they can put Black Lives Matter on the floor and play us in the bubble. And this is why we talk shit about the Lakers bubble championship. Not because y'all didn't deserve to win the championship, but the fact that LeBron decided to come back, knowing that these are the type of owners that we have. In the moment that y'all made a statement after Milwaukee already walked off the court and decided that they was gonna make a statement, and LeBron James he talked to Obama, and Obama said, "Play the game," so he went back and won the bubble championship. I'm not discrediting what y'all did on the court. I'm discrediting the mentality and the things that we could have affected off the court by not returning and winning that weak ass bubble championship.
I'm discrediting the championship.
Hey,
Yeah.
if LeBron led it, that's LeBron's fault, not the Lakers, because the Lakers said, hey, he's our new Kobe. We're going with what he says and how he feels. If he did it, hey, that's what I said. That's why tonight I rocked the 16.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't include the bubble championship. I told Caleb before we started I wasn't gonna bring it up. I understand.
Hey, Ronnie, before we go, man, you better tell people, hey, yo, Ronnie's directing something. So if you want to be an actor, get at Ronnie.
Yeah,
hey, bro. Hey, Ronnie, plug me, man. I've been modeling and stuff, bro. Plug me. I'm trying to get on, bro. I'm trying to get on.
Tell him about the shit, Ronnie.
Well,
Come on, man.
Now that my man Yah has brought it up, we definitely will talk about this briefly. You know, we got a new TV series that's coming forward called Single Parentish. You know what I mean? It's a story describing, you know, single parents in America. A lot of people don't know the challenges of being a single parent, and when you have to do everything by yourself, including having children that play sports, also while building brands and working and all that stuff is very challenging, and it takes a toll on you as a person, as a kid. And also we want to highlight the story from a child's perspective, because we don't hear enough from the children that are affected by being raised by one parent. Parenting is a two-person job. And when a child is lacking that other half and a little girl doesn't get what she needs from her dad or her mom, whichever one is absent, or a little boy don't get what he needs from his mom or dad's perspective when it's absent, it makes the kid turn into something else. So we want to highlight these things, make it a conversation, make it a nice show, and that's what we're doing. So Single Parentish, if you're an actor, actress, anything that would like to get out, we have an opportunity. This will get out to the public, and it will blow up and be big. So get on while you can. PolitiKan Productions, our first TV series, PolitiKan produced, our first one of many. Check it out, y'all.
For real.
And sorry, everybody. I'm the crazy. I already got dibs on the crazy uncle. So
put me on. Put me on. Either put me on as the dad or a coach. I'm ready, Ronnie. I'm ready.
I got you. Call me, bro. We got to
yes,
talk.
sir.
You know, we stay killing the red carpets this weekend. We got Winnie Stacks. You know, he's one of the top fashion designers in, you know, the game right now. We're doing his fashion show. You know, this is a cancer. He was a cancer survivor. So this is a cancer donation. All proceeds will go to cancer, you know, foundation. And this is a big thing. We live streaming that. And then we're turning around. And right after that, we headed to Catino Mobley's. You know, everybody know Catino, the legendary hooper. We headed to his birthday party. So we'll be on the red carpet for his birthday party on Saturday also. Then next week we turn around and we're live streaming. It's a community event at PCC, you know, trying to get the community to come and check out the junior college, you know, and check out the different, you know, avenues and different career choices that they offer through community colleges, you know. So this is just another event that we'll be live streaming. And then I'll be headed after that to the Bellator fight in Long Beach. So Bellator 286. But then we're also a sponsor for the Hot Fest, the Pursuit of Happiness. This is going down in Ontario on the 1st. So this will all be next weekend on the 1st. We'll have a live backstage like podcast area. We'll be doing the red carpet. We'll be doing media there. So as PolitiKan has a brand, you know, we're expanding. We're getting a lot of new opportunities, and we're definitely, you know, becoming one of the premier outlets, you know, the go-to guys in the Hollywood LA scene as far as media. And the good thing and the best thing I love about that is that we're doing it with positive content. We're not putting out all the ass shaking. We're not doing all the demoralizing. We're not glorifying the gang banging and the gang culture. We're doing it. We're all presenting ourselves in a positive manner and always putting out positive content and always showing, light to people that don't necessarily have that platform, always trying to give that platform to the people that need it. So as a platform and as a creator and as the owner of this company, I'm truly proud at where we started and where we're headed. It's really day and night. Like, it's a crazy life. I feel like we're just kind of really getting started, and let's see what happens next. By faith. I walk by faith, not by sight. So this is God works, not mine. And that's it. You know. So until next week, man. I'ma holler at y'all, man. Appreciate y'all brothers again. PolitiKan The Podcast. We out.